How terrified is Joe Biden of the radicals in his party? Well, here's one measure. He's so terrified that he just made Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez the head of his global warming task force. She's the woman who blames hurricane deaths on racism.
Do we see largely that it's the global South and communities of color that may be bearing the brunt of the initial havoc from climate change?
Without a doubt, without a doubt.
And in terms of that wealth, the people who are producing climate change, the folks that are responsible for the largest amount of emissions or communities or corporations, they tend to be predominantly white, correct?
Yes, and every study backs that up.
So not really a science person, that Ocasio-Cortez. Now she's running global warming for Joe Biden. What is going on here? Dana Perino's been watching. She hosts the Daily Briefing, of course, with Dana Perino. Always delighted to have her. So my theory, Dana, and knock it down if you like, is that Biden isn't wedded to deep beliefs, and he is at this point a vessel for some of the more radical people in his party. You think that's right?
Well, it certainly gives that appearance, right? So if you show me a candidate that is still worried about their base at this point in the general election, I'll show you somebody who is very unsteady as a candidate.
Smart. That's right.
I can't tell you how happy Republicans were yesterday, Tucker, when they found out that AOC is going to be in charge of energy policy and climate policy for the Biden campaign, because Biden is actually courting voters that already were going to vote for him. Right.
Yes.
But he's turning off the voters who may have voted for him. So, for example, AOC turns off people in the suburbs, like in the district that the Republicans flipped last night in California. How about the people in Pennsylvania who rely on fracking jobs? They've said that they want to kill that through the Green New Deal. And, you know, the Justice Dems that she's a part of, they lost that seat last night. They lost in Wisconsin. Ilhan Omar has a really tough race. Nobody is actually listening to the AOCs and the Omars in the party because they're dwindling in power, but Joe Biden keeps giving them new life. It's kind of baffling.
It's not baffling once you understand what you just said, which is this is what weak candidates do. They pander to the fringes because they haven't shored them up.
Right. And so I think that if you have something like, you know, in Pennsylvania, that's going to be a battleground. There's no doubt about that. You already have people in a tough spot when it comes to unemployment in this because of the pandemic. But the energy jobs are in particular danger of maybe not even coming back if they can't get back quickly. And if they think that Joe Biden is going to bring on AOC as the climate advisor, well, then like, game over. I think that President Trump would probably at least be able to win those voters quite handily in Pennsylvania.
That's such a smart point. And as you noted, he doesn't really need to do this, but he's doing it anyway, which tells you something pretty weird.
No, it's hurting him. I mean, he was able to actually win this nomination by knocking them down, and now he's embracing them. It doesn't make sense.
It's very strange, but I think he's a vessel for others, and that's maybe the worst thing. Dana, great to see you tonight. Thank you so much for that.
Good to see you. Have a good night.
Pasta saus.